fine. Good morning to you all students. Hi students, how are you? I hope you all are fine and you all are doing well. Warm greetings to you all students. So welcome to our today's online class. So now we are studying about chapter 10, isn't it? So what's the title of our chapter? Flow of control. So in this chapter, what are things you have studied? So what do you mean by flow of control? Then what do you mean by statements? Different kinds of statements, isn't it? So before I am going to start about today's portion, so just recall what are things you have studied at the last class. Okay. So what are things you have studied? In the last class, two important questions you have studied. What are the two important questions? Nested if and else if later. Isn't it? Very important questions. I asked you to study and write in your computer notebook. Have you all studied that question? Studied or not? Okay. So please study daily portions. Okay. So in this chapter, each and every topic is related to one another. So you should study thorough about each topic. Okay. So if you are leaving any one of the topic means you won't get continuation for the next topic. Okay. So you should study thorough each and every topic. Okay. So today we are going to study about the continuation of last class chapter. Okay. So last class you have studied about if statement and else if statement, nested if else as well as else if later, isn't it? So what's the use of if statement? So if statement runs or execute the program based on the expressions or condition. So if the condition is true means the true block will execute. So in if statement there is no chance for checking for the false condition, isn't it? So we are going to next statement, which statement? If else. So what's the meaning of if else? If else have two conditions, isn't it? What are they? True as well as false. So you can able to check the expression with true conditions. If the condition is true means true block will alone execute. If the condition is false means false block will execute, isn't it? So the same thing if else you have studied inside nested if else. Very important question. What do you mean by nested if else? So one more if else is present inside another one if else statement we are calling as a nested if. So for that three parts are there. What are the three parts? Nested if inside if part, then nested if inside else part, then nested if inside both if part as well as else part, isn't it? Then else if later. So these two questions are very important. Okay. So today we are going to study about the different kinds of if else statement. Okay. That means alternative to if else statement. So what's the meaning of if else statement? So you are giving some expression. So in the expression you are giving some condition. Based on the condition it will check whether the given condition is true or false, isn't it? So if the condition is true means which block will execute? True block. So only the true block alone execute. If the condition is false means false block alone execute. So there is nearly 3 or 4 lines. First you need to give if statement, then expression, then inside if statement some statements you should give, then else, then inside the else part you should give some more statements, isn't it? So to eliminate that more number of steps, you are going to study about this alternative to if else. Okay. So what's the name? Very important question. The same question you are going to study in 12th standard also. Please study thorough. Okay. This chapter is very important. The same thing, same concept you are going to study in 12th standard also. Okay. So you should study thorough this chapter. Understood? Okay. So listen. See the symbol. Is it visible? What's the symbol? One question mark and one colon. Okay. So what's the name of this symbol? Means conditional operator. Very important question. So what's the name of this symbol? Conditional operator, or what the name of the symbol is? Ternary operator. Okay. Very important. One more question also this one. So what's the other name of conditional operator? Ternary operator. Okay. So when we are using this conditional operator or ternary operator means it is an alternative of if else statement. Okay. Instead of using if else statement, you can use which one? This conditional operator or ternary operator. Okay. So this conditional operator consists of two symbols. Okay. How many symbols are there in this conditional operator? Two symbols. What are they? One question mark as well as one colon. Okay. So 2 symbols, as well as it will take 3 arguments. Very, very important thing. So conditional operator will have 2 symbols and 3 arguments. What are the symbols? 1 question mark and 1 colon, as well as how many arguments? 3 arguments. Okay. So now we are going to study about the flow of conditional operator. The flow from where to where this operator will work. Understood? Okay. So what's the conditional operator? So conditional operator is using, that's the alternative to if-else statement. So this conditional operator has how many symbols? 2 symbols. What are the symbols? 1 question mark and colon. So it has 2 symbols and how many arguments? 3 arguments. Okay. So the flow of conditional, the operator is given below. Okay. So this is the syntax. Listen carefully. Already you have studied. Conditional operator has 2 symbols. First is expression 1. Okay, first what you need to give? Expression 1. Then the symbol question mark. Understood? First expression, then question mark, then second expression, then second symbol. What is the second symbol? Colon. Then third expression. Understood? First expression, then question mark, then second expression, then colon, then third expression. Okay. So how this expression will work under conditional operator means, listen. So first here you are giving some condition in this expression once. So you should always give the condition in where? In the expression 1. Okay. So based on the condition it will check whether it is true or false. Okay. Based on the condition it will check true or false. Okay. So if the condition is true means this expression 2 will run or execute. Okay. So at the same time this expression 3 will not run. Understood? So you are giving some conditions in this expression 1. Okay. So it will check this condition. So if the condition is true means this expression 2 will execute. At the same time if the condition is false means only this expression 3 will run. The expression 2 will not be run. Understood? If the condition is true means this expression 2 alone will run. So if the condition is false means directly the expression 3 will run. Understood? Understood the explanation of this flow of control? Okay. So here they are giving one example program for this conditional operator. So what's the program means? Listen. So write a C++ program to find greatest of 2 numbers. Okay. You are going to find out greatest. They are giving, so you are going to insert or input 2 numbers. Among the 2 numbers, you are going to find which one is the greater number. Okay. So in the question itself, they are giving using conditional operator, you need to check. Understood? Listen. So what's the first line of the program? Header file. So what's the header file? Hash include iostring. Okay. Then what's the second line? Using namespace std. Then what's the third line? Main-of function. So in main-of. Okay. So inside the main-of function, you are going to write the program. Okay. So what's the question? You are going to find the largest of 2 numbers, isn't it? So how many numbers require? So you require 2 numbers. Okay. So for that 2 numbers, you are going to declare 2 variables. Numbers. So numbers will come under the data type integer, int, isn't it? So in the 2 numbers you are taking in the variable a and b. Understood? 2 variables you are taking, 2 numbers you are giving in the variable a and b. Okay. So next, so you are going to save the answer. Which one is the largest? That answer you are saving in the variable largest. Understood? So you are entering 2 numbers as a input. What are the numbers? The variables they are entering is a and b. Okay. Then result you are storing in the variable largest. Understood? So totally how many variables you are declaring here? 3. What are they? A, B and largest. Okay. So next you are giving some output to the output screen. So output which statement you should give in cout. So cout enter any 2 numbers. So 2 numbers, any 2 numbers you need to enter. Okay. So base next 2 numbers you are entering. For that output you are giving means you should give some input, isn't it? So input the 2 numbers you are giving in which variable? A and B. So you should pass the input here. Okay. So C in A and next B. Understood? Okay. Then next in this line only you are going to find the largest of number using which operator? Conditional operator. Understood? For that the answer you are storing in which variable? Largest. Okay. So largest equal to first. So what's the syntax for this conditional operator? First expression 1 question mark, then second expression, colon, third expression, isn't it? So what's the first expression you are giving means A greater than B. You are giving that condition inside via bracket. Understood? The condition you are giving inside bracket. Then which is symbol? Question mark. Okay. So what you are giving? A greater than B. Okay. Then expression 2. So either A should be greater or B should be greater. Isn't it? So next after the question mark you are giving variable A. Then colon B. So how this expression will work? So first it will check the given number. Okay. Sometimes A is greater means, listen carefully. A is greater means which number need to display? A. So second expression will work. Sometimes B is greater. At that time which expression will work? Third expression, because the second expression will get fail. A is not greater. So it directly the control flow to the third expression. Understood? Okay. Then you are giving next in the output screen, see out the largest number. So the largest number you are giving in which variable? Largest. So you are calling the variable largest at the end semicolon. Okay. So last return 0. So you are returning from the function. Okay. See the output. So which line will display at the first? First line. This one. Enter any two numbers. Okay. So enter any two numbers. Okay. Two numbers you are entering. So what are the numbers you are the user is entering? 12 and 98. Okay. So by seeing itself you know which one is greater? 98. Isn't it? So how it will work means, listen. What's the next output? In see out largest number. So how it will display 98? First it will check two numbers. What are the numbers? 12 and 98. So it will check 12 is greater than 98. Whether 12 is greater than 98? No. So this condition is false. So false means which expression will run? Third, expression 3. So what's the value for B now? 98. So the answer you are getting as 98. Understood? Understood this program? How this program will work? Understood? So how is the working of this program? Please understood or not? Okay. So each and every programs are very, very important. Okay. Okay. So next topic is switch statement. This is also very, very important question. Okay. So this nested if, then else if later, then conditional operator or ternary operator and switch statement. These four questions are very, very important questions. Again and again I am telling you can expect any one of the question from this one. Mostly they will ask for 3 marks. Sometimes they will ask for 5 mark question. Okay, 5 mark question they ask means so you should explain with program. Understood? Okay. So next statement is switch statement. Understood? So switch statement, underlining, this is an important 1 mark question. Switch statement is a multi-way branch statement. Okay. So what's the switch statement? Switch statement. So last we have studied conditional operator or ternary operator is an alternative to if-else statement, isn't it? Likewise, switch statement is a multi-way branch statement. Understood? Switch statement is a multi-way branch statement. Okay. So here, in this switch statement, it provides easiest way to execute different parts of the code. Okay. So you are writing lot of statements or lot of codes as a block. So in using the switch statement, it is very easy to run different parts of the code. So you are giving some expressions or condition. Okay. So based on the conditions, so using the switch statement, you can able to run different parts of the code easily. Okay. So this switch statement replaces multiple if-else statement. So last you have studied alternative to if-else statement, conditional operator. So instead of using if-else statement, you can use conditional operator or ternary operator. Likewise, instead of using multiple times if-else statement, you can use which statement? Switch statement. Understood? So what's the switch statement? It is a multi-way branch statement. So what's the use of the switch statement? So this is the easiest way. So different parts of the code you can able to run. Based on the condition, different parts of the code you can able to run. So it will replace multiple if-else statement. Understood what do you mean by switch statement? Very, very important 3 mark question. Okay. So this is the syntax. Syntax also very, very important. Okay. Syntax of switch statement. Okay. So first study the syntax. So each and every heading syntaxes are very, very important. Syntax you should write as it is they have given inside your book. Okay. Syntax don't write as per your own. Please write as it is they have given in your textbooks. Understood? Okay. So listen. So syntax is first you should write switch. So inside expression. Okay, so inside the switch what do you need to express? Inside this switch expression. Then okay, so here this is the important thing in switch statement. First you should write case 1, case 2, case 3 like this. Okay, so case constant what? So here you are giving some value, constant value. Okay, so case constant 1. Then here that is important. Here you should give not semicolon, you should give colon. Understood? So case constant 1 colon. Then some statements semicolon, then break. That is very very important. So each cases starts with case some constant, then colon, then inside that some statements you are giving, then break statement. Okay, then next case 2. Okay, like this case constant some value, then colon, statements, then break. Like this case 3, case 4, case till case n, any number of cases you can give. At last you should give default. That is very very important. Okay, starts with case 1, ends with default. Understood? Okay, so inside default you are giving some statements, then close brace. Understood the syntax for the switch statement? Okay, very very important. Okay, so how this code will work means, listen. First you are giving some conditions inside the switch statement. Okay, so first it will check the condition. So among this you are giving lot of cases, case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4, case 5, like this lot of cases. Among these cases any one of the case will be true. Okay, so you are giving 4 or 5 or 6 cases. Consider 6 cases you are giving, case 1, case 2, like this 6 cases. Okay, you are giving some condition also. So based on the condition only any one, for example case 3 is true, remaining all the cases are false. So at a time only one case will execute. Understood? Okay, so any one of the cases will be true. So for in this example consider case 3 is true. Okay, so what's the use of this break statement means, for example case 1 is true means, listen carefully, case 1 is true. So only what statement you are given inside this case, that statements alone will execute. Break means it will break here. So remaining statements will not execute. Understood? Inside the switch remaining statements will not execute. That's the use of break. So it will break till that point. Understood? Sometimes case 1 is false. Okay, then break. Then case 2 is false. This will also not work. Some case 3 is true. So it will execute till case 3. Once the condition is true, till that. When the condition is true, up to that it will work and break the statement. Then automatically come out of the loop. Understood? Sometimes if all the cases are false, consider all the case 1 is false, case 2, case 3 till case n number of cases are there. Here all the cases are false. At that time this default, what are the things you are giving inside default, that default statements will run. Understood? Sometimes all the cases are false. So if the condition, based on the condition all the cases are false means, what statements you are giving inside default, that statements will run. Understood the working of switch statement? Okay. So this is the block diagram or flowchart for the switch statement. Okay, listen. First you are giving some expression. So first it will check the case 1. Then code in case block, that is first case block. Then case 2. So you are giving some statements. So statements in case block 2, case 3. Likewise it will execute case n till last default. Okay. See this arrow mark. After executing any one of the case needs to be true, otherwise default case. So after that it come out of the program. Understood? Okay. So see the rules. What are the rules should be followed while you are executing switch statement? Okay, listen carefully. So first is the expression provided. Very very important question. This switch statement sometimes only they will ask for 3 marks. Sometimes they will ask for 5 mark question also. Very very important question. Again and again I am telling. Okay. So what's the first rule means? Listen. So expression provided in switch should result in a constant values. Otherwise it would not be a valid. That means listen. So here you are studying, no? You are studied about expression. So you here in this expression, so you should give some constant values. Okay. So always you should provide some constant values. That means any number or any alphabet, some constant values you should provide. Okay. So if you are not providing constant values, you should get or you will get some error. That's not a valued. Understood what's the first thing? So the expression you are giving inside the switch should always be a constant value, otherwise it will not be a valued. Understood? Next, duplicate case values are not allowed. What's the meaning means? Listen. So case 1 also you are giving same thing. Case 2 also you are giving same thing. So same cases it is repeating, isn't it? So that is duplicate cases. Second point is duplicate cases are not allowed. Understood what's the meaning duplicate cases are not allowed? That means same value will not get repeated. Okay. Next, default statement is optional. That's what's the meaning means last you are giving no default. So this statement is optional. That's not a compulsory. Default statement is optional. Okay. Next. So break statement is used inside switch to terminate statement. Already I explained. So what's the use of break statement? Used to terminate the sequence. So once the code is executing, immediately it will find the break keyword break means immediately it will break at that point. It will come outside of the loop or the control of the program will jump to the next part or next line of the switch statement. Understood? Okay. So next point is, so this break statement is also optional. Okay, that means listen, sometimes so you are not giving break in each cases. At last you should give break. So in between each cases you are not giving break statement. If you are not giving this break statement in between means how this program will work means each cases it will run. Because if you are giving break statements on means only it will break at that point and it will come outside of the loop. Now you are not giving break statement like this means automatically all the cases will run. Till the break statement is found out, at that time itself that code will execute. Understood? So that only fifth point. Now ready break statement is optional. If omitted, execution will continue to next case. That means when the break keyword is found out, till that the program will execute. Understood? Okay. Nesting of switch is also allowed. Nesting, what do you mean by nesting? One inside another. Okay. That means first switch case inside next switch case. So nesting of switch is also allowed. Understood? The rules is very, very important. So what are the rules you have studied? First one is, so expression you are giving inside switch statement is a valued. If you are not giving a valued thing, so you will get error and duplicate. The same values will not get repeated. That's not duplicate values are not allowed. Next, so default statement is an optional. So default if you need means you can go, otherwise leave it. So break using inside the switch statement is used to terminate at that point, the control automatically jump to the next point. So if you are not giving the break statement in between means automatically all the cases will execute. So it will execute till the keyword break will find. Okay. So nesting of switch statement is also possible. Understood? This is very, very important question. Okay. So this is the program, C++ program to demonstrate using switch statement. Okay. Using switch statement they have given one program. Okay. So what's the first title? What's the first line of the program? Header file. What's the header file? Hash include IO stream. Isn't it? What's the second line? Using namespace std. Third line in main of function. Then inside the main of function you are giving, listen, you are declaring some variable. Okay, one variable you are declaring. What's the variable name of the variable? Num. Of data type int. That means number. Okay, so you are giving some integers or numbers. So you are giving the num inside the data type int. Okay, next listen. Then in the cout you are giving enter weekday number. You are going to find, so how many days are there in a week? 7 days, isn't it? So among the 7 days you are going to find out any one day. Understood? For that you are entering the week number, that is the day number. Okay, so enter weekday number. So you are entering any one of the number between 1 to 7. Maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. Okay, so next one, output screen you are giving enter weekday number. Then for that you should give input. So input you should give in which one? So already you are declaring the variable num. So you should call the variable num here. So C in num. Understood? Next, the same thing, listen carefully. What's the syntax? Switch off expression. So the expression should be a constant value. So what's the constant value here you are using? Num. That's a number. Understood? So that expression, listen. So inside that, first case 1, listen carefully, case 1. So inside that you are giving the output cout Sunday. What's the first day? Sunday. So Sunday. Next break. Next case 2, cout. The second day is Monday. Then break. Case 3, Tuesday. Likewise till 7. So till 7. At last you should give default. So default you are giving wrong input. Listen carefully. What's the thing means? Sometimes you are entering the number 1. At that time, so it will check the num is 1. So it will check which is then the case 1, where the number 1 is there here. So inside the case 1, so what output you are getting? Sunday. Okay. Sometimes you are entering the number 2. So it will check whether whether the case 1 is 2, no. So then it will come to the case 2. Which one is satisfied to? This one, case 2. So what's the answer? Monday. Likewise, sometimes you are giving enter the weekday number 6. So it will check what's the value of num 6. So where 6 is there? Here. So this condition alone true. So you will get the output Saturday. Sometimes here you are entering the number 8. Listen carefully. Sometimes you are here entering the number as a 8. So here totally 7 cases are there, but you are entering the number 8. So 7 till 7 the condition is true. Once the number reaches to 8, the condition is false. Isn't it? So once the condition is false, which case will execute? Default case will execute. Understood? So what's the default case? Sometimes you are entering the number 8 means, so what output you will get? Wrong input. Understood the working? Okay. So now you are going to run the program. So what output you will get at the first? Enter weekday number. See, enter weekday number. So you are entering the number as a 6. So where the 6 is there, case 6 will execute. So what answer you will get? Friday. Understood the working of switch statement? Understood? Okay. So next one is very very important question. Switch versus if else. That is differentiate between switch statement and if else statement. Okay, now you are going to study about difference between switch statement and if else statement. Okay, so both if else and switch statement are selection statements. Okay, what's the first point? So both if else statement and switch statement are selection. What do you mean by selection statement? That means, so based on the condition, the flow of control, that means the program flow of control will jump from one part of the or one block of the code to next block of the code. That's a selection statement. That means based on the condition either it is true or false. True means the control flow to true statement. False means false statement. So the control of the code will jump from one part of the program to next part of the program. Okay, so both switch and if else statement we can say as a selection statement. But some differences are there between switch statement and if else statement. Even though switch and if else statement are selection statements, some difference will be there between switch and if else statement. Understood? So now we are going to study about what are the differences between switch statement and if else statement. Understood? So what's the first difference means? Listen. So expression inside if statement decide whether to execute if block or under else block. Isn't it? So under if else statement, based on the condition, it will execute whether the statement given inside if block or else block. So based on the condition, that means if the condition is true means the statements you are giving inside if statement will execute, or the statements you are given inside else statement block will execute. Isn't it? But in switch statements, so it will decide which case need to execute. There, which block need to execute. That means if block or else block. Here, switch statement means case 1, case 2, case 3 till case 9. So here, based on the condition, it will execute which blocks need to execute. It will decide which block needs to execute. Understood? That's the first point. Then, second point is, here you can, so in if else statement, you can able to use multiple statement for multiple choices. Okay. So multiple statements, that is more number of lines you need to give for multiple choices. For example, the same program, last you study, no? The enter weekday. The same program, if you are going to write using if else statement means you should write lot of lines. So same thing, multiple lines is required to check multiple choices. But switch statement use only a single. Here there you are giving the expression only inside switch, isn't it? So there you are giving single expression, but based on the single expression you are checking lot of choices. But if else statement is not like that. Lot of statements also you need to give to check lot of choices. But here only one expression you are giving for checking multiple choices. Understood? Okay. So this if else statement, so it will check for equality. Equality means the condition is true or not. Okay. That is, it will check equality and it will return either true value or false value. Condition is true means true block. That is a logical expression. That is true. Boolean values, true or false. But switch statement, it will check only a equality. Only it is equal. That means only which cases are equal. It will check only for equality. It will not return any Boolean values. Understood? Okay. The next difference is the if statement will evaluate what are the data types it will evaluate means integer, character, floating point or boolean type. Okay, if statement will evaluate integer, character, boolean, floating type, etc. But switch statement will evaluate only character type. Either it should evaluate character data type or integer data type. But if statement is not like that, it will evaluate both character, integer, floating point and boolean type. But switch statement will evaluate only the character or integer data type. Okay. So here, if the condition is false means, if else statement, if the condition is false means, which block will execute? False means else block will execute. But in switch statement, if the condition is false means which statement will execute? Default statement will execute. Understood? Understood the 5 difference? Very, very important question. What are the 5 difference? Once more you repeat. First statement is, so based on the condition it will evaluate whether if block need to execute or else block need to execute. But there it will decide which case need to execute. Here multiple statement if you need to execute means for multiple choice if you need to execute means you will give multiple number of statements. But here you are giving only one statement or one expression, but you are checking using that statement you are checking multiple choices. And also third point is if else statement check equality as well as it will return boolean values, but switch statement only it will check for equality. So if statement will support integer, character, boolean data type, switch statement will support only integer as well as character data type. Okay. So if the condition is false means else block will execute in such statement. Condition is false means default statement will execute. Understood? Okay. Then iteration statements, selection statements you have studied. Understood? Now we are going to study about iteration statement. Okay. So what do you mean by iterative statement mean? So this iterative statement will also contain more number of statements. One or more, it will also contain one or more statements. But here some statement based on the condition, some statements will execute same number of that means same statements will execute again and again. Otherwise then the statements will execute more number of times or repeatedly. Okay. So these statements we are calling as an control flow statements or iteration statements. Okay. So what do you mean by iteration statements? So the iteration statements will contain lot of lines or lot of statements. So you are giving some condition, based on the condition some lines or some blocks of the code will execute repeatedly or again and again. Such kind of statements we are calling as and which one? Iteration statements or control flow statements. Understood? Okay. So why we are going to study about, why we are going to use this iteration statements? Okay. Why we are using means by using this iteration statements you can able to reduce the length of the code. For example, if you need to run particular 5 lines 5 times. Understood? If you need to run 5 lines of the program. For example, if a program, consider one program, that program will contain nearly 50 lines. Okay. So among the 50 lines, only 5 lines of the program you need to run 5 times. Normally what you will do? 5 times you need to write the same line, isn't it? That's a tedious process. That means same number of lines you need to write again and again. That's a wastage of time, or the code length becomes more. To avoid that when you are using iteration statements, okay, that means the particular 5 lines will execute how many number of times based on your wish. You are giving some condition, so based on the condition it will execute the more number of times or it will repeatedly. And so that statements we are calling as and which one? Iteration statements. Understood? So using this kind of statements you can able to reduce the length of the code. Okay, that means number of lines you can able to reduce, and also you can able to reduce the time and also memory space. While you are running the program, the memory space is very, very less compared to other statements. Okay. So under iteration statements also there are 3 kinds of statements. Selection statements, what are the statements you have studied? If statement, if else statement and switch statement, isn't it? Likewise, iteration statements also there are 3 kinds of statements. What are they? For statement, while statement and do while statement. Understood? So what are the 3 types of iteration statements? For statement, while statement and do while statement. Okay. So all these 3 kinds of statements will execute based on the condition. you are giving some specified condition. Okay. So all these three statements will execute based on the condition. If the till it will execute, the condition is false. Okay. So once the condition is true, the particular number of statement, the particular statement will execute more number based on, for example, your condition is you are giving the condition as a 5. So the particular number of lines will execute 5 times. Sometimes you are giving the condition as 10. So the particular number of lines will execute 10 times. So that particular codes of line will execute till the value you are getting as a false. Understood what I mean by iteration statement? So particular number of lines will execute true till the condition becomes false. At that time itself the number of lines will execute. That is called which statement? Iteration statement. So what are the three kinds of iteration statements? For statements, while statement and do while statement. Okay. So next one is the parts of a loop. Okay. What's the next thing? Parts of a loop. So each loop will have different parts or 4 elements. That is very important question. So parts of a loop, totally how many parts are there in a loop? 4 parts. What are they? Initialization expression, test expression, update expression and body of the loop. Understood? So each loop will contain how many parts? Totally 4 parts. What are they? Initialization expression, test expression, update expression and the body of the loop. Okay. So first one is initialization expression. What do you mean by initialization expression means? So first you should initialize some variables. For example, int I equal to 0. So you are initializing the variable I with the value 0. That is initialization. Okay. So that you are giving this initialization part you need to give at the beginning of the loop. Understood? Always this initialization will give at the beginning of the loop. So this initialization will run at least only one time. Understood what I mean by initialization? So you are giving the initialization variable at the beginning of the loop. So you are giving some variable with value. So this initialization variable or expression will run only once at the beginning of the loop. Okay. So before the control enters into the loop, this initialization expression will run. Understood? Okay. So next one is test expression. First initialization expression over. Next one is test expression. Okay. So you are initializing some variable with value. Okay. Next, here only you are giving the condition. Text expression name itself in test expression. So here only you are giving condition. Okay. So based on the condition it will check whether the condition is true or not. True means 1, false means 0. Okay. So if the condition is true means immediately it will run the body of the loop. That is very important. Okay. Once the condition is true means immediately the body of the loop will execute. Okay. So there are 2 types of loops are there. Entry controlled loop and exit controlled loop. What are they? Entry controlled loop and exit controlled loop. Okay. So entry means name itself having while entering the loop. Entry control loop, this expression is evaluated before the flow entering into the loop. Okay. So before the flow enters into the loop, this expression will run. Entry control loop. But exit control loop, after this expression only, this test expression will check. That's the difference. Entry means beginning first it will check. Exit means at last, before it will check. Understood? Okay. So next one is update expression. So here update means it will change the value for the variable. So while studying the example you will get understood. Okay. So update means it will change. You are giving value of I equal to 0. So next time you are changing the value I equal to 1. Understood? So that changing of value is given under which one? Update expression. Okay. So this update expression will run at the end of the loop. Understood? So initialization will run at the beginning of the loop. Text expression will run at the center of the loop. And update expression will run at the end of the loop. Understood? So this update expression will run till the condition reaches false. Understood? Next one is the body of the loop. Body of the loop means, so here only you are giving lot of statements, okay, based on the condition. So the statements giving inside this body of the loop will execute. Okay, that means particular, for example, you are giving I equal to 0. Till 5 times you need to execute. So here number of statements you are giving. So that number of statements based on the condition 5 times means 5 times it will execute. 10 times means 10 times it will execute. Okay. So if I entry control loop means first it will test the expression, then execute the body of the loop. At the same time, if the exit control loop means after the body of the loop execute over, then only this expression will check till it will execute or repeated once the condition remains false. Understood? Okay, up to today's portion, up to this enough, time over. Okay, what are things you have studied today? Switch statement, then what are the alternative to if else statement, conditional operator, then this iteration statement, points of loop. Today's topic, all the 4 topics are very important. Switch statement as well as conditional or ternary operator, difference between switch and if else statement. So please study and write in your computer notebook, very important questions. Okay, remaining you can continue in the next class. Thank you, students.